Bless you, Mads. My only good mod. Saving my life daily. Hi, everybody. Hi, how's it going? Hey. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. We are about to get going here. I'm pretty much ready to go. Think. I've got my markers. I've got my pencil. Got Malamosa.
UWU.
Thank you so much. Subscribing for 10 months. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And Kate, I can only assume that the title of that show is incredibly filthy. There's a lot of very bad four-letter words. Andy Orange, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. An extra super special thank you to all the subs that are happening currently. Ellie, thank you so much. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you, thank you. We got a hype train going now. But yeah, extra thank you right now to all the subs. Truly appreciate it because I am placing orders for the prints in the next week and a half. I'm going to be doing a very large order of prints. So all the support right now is extra appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Cognos, thank you for the floaty the floaty emote. Love to see the spin. Not Illustrious, thank you so much for that Prime sub. Thank you. The hype train is blowing up. I'm going to switch right over to the old art screen here so we can begin to get beginning. And I will switch the page over to a brand new page in the sketchbook. You know what? We're really making our way through this sketchbook. We're definitely past the halfway point. We've got this much left to go. That's like 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19. I think there's like 22 or so pages left in the sketchbook. So I might have to order another one of these soon, but look at all we've done. There's even some pages in here I haven't shown off on stream, just because they were things I was idly doodling when I was just hanging out on my own. Yeah. I did some samurai studies the other night.
Floaty can't stay, so I'll catch you all in the VOD.
Thank you so
Hype
much.
Train.
Thank you so much, Ramens, and for contributing to that hype train. I really appreciate that. Still not 100% used to that robot lady, so sometimes I talk over her, and I am sorry for that robot lady. Did we ever give the robot lady a name? Do we have a name for them? Not sure. go ahead and clip this next page. So the idea I had today is I would actually like to go back in time a little bit to when we used to do those animal studies, because I'm kind of out of practice with drawing animals. So I'm going to do some animal studies today, but I need your help. And the help that you'll provide is we're going to vote on a whole lot of colors. Pluto, thank you so much for gifting that sub. The chat is really flying today. It's so good to see everyone. I'm so glad everyone could make it out for the stream. I had a little bit of a hectic morning / afternoon, which I won't, not going to overshare here, but it was a bit of a rough morning. So I'm really glad to be here now.
Hoo. Remember to have your stretch and water breaks, y'all.
It's very important. Thank you, Lion. I do need to set up my stretch timer right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. 25 minutes on the clock. Starting now, so I'll see you in 25 minutes for a nice, comfy stretch. And we're going to open up the poll. We're going to have a good one. So let's start a new poll. Y'all, if you don't know, if you're new, first of all, welcome. Glad to have you here. Secondly, this is Copic Thursday, and on Copic Thursday, what we like to do is you help me pick my markers. I'm going to put 5 markers up here in front of you. I'm going to list them all out in a poll, and then we're going to vote on which ones we would like to use. If we get any ties, I got to use everything that's in the tie. So you can try to sway it in that way. You can try to vote against me.
Dodo do bobo bob jub 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 do bobo bob jub g jub dodo do bobo bob jub do bobo bob jub g jub.
That's a very catchy song. Do bobo bob to you as well. Thank you so much for the 420. Very much appreciated. I'm gonna start the first poll here. So this is going to be for the first marker. And we've got Earth Tone 77. We've got Cool Gray 1. We've got Yellow Green 06. We've got Red Violet 02. And Earth Tone 04. Earth Tone 04 always strikes me as something in the red family because it's called Lipstick Natural. It's got like a dark pink kind of feel to it, but it's actually an earth tone. It's sort of like if clay was really light colored, that is the sort of effect you get there, but it is called Lipstick Natural. So we've got 1 minute going here on the clock, and you can use bits or channel points to sway the vote any which way you like. I know that we have some folks in here. Oh, Lion, thank you so much for gifting those 2 subs. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Folks in here sometimes like to sway the vote to see how many ties they can get. We've never gotten a perfect tie of all 5 colors at once. Not a natural tie. There's one time that I broke the tie and we did go 5-way, but I still would love to see it one of these days. I don't know what'll happen. I think the whole stream will just break and explode. All right, so our first marker color today is going to be E04, Lipstick Natural. So we're going to add that to our palette. We'll set these ones aside and we'll get the next batch here. Let's see what we get. And this is what happens. So I close my eyes every time I grab the markers because I want it to be a random assortment, and sometimes I pull out 4 instead of 5, so now I get to pull 1 more. There we go. Looks like we have some nice pale pastel colors here. I'm seeing some of my favorites: Champagne, Mauve Shadow, Tea Rose, which I don't think I've I definitely have used every single marker in here at least once, but T Rose is not ringing any bells from my memory. It's a very unfamiliar looking color name. So this is for the second marker of the day. And the voting options are as follows. We have Earth Tone 93. We've got Yellow Green 63. We're looking at Cool Gray 3. E, that's Earth Tone 71. A lot of earth tones today. Feeling earthy, feeling grounded. BV00 is the final color. And now we've got 1 minute on the clock. That is a nice green, isn't it? It's called pea green. Pea as in the yummy food. It's so weird. I actually mentioned peas on Twitter yesterday because somebody was talking about getting the daily recommended amount of one of the B vitamins. And it's really hard to get the daily recommended amount of those vitamins unless you eat like a lot of flax or a lot of peas. And I've been trying to eat more peas recently so that I can also get that vitamin. Just a fun story about vitamins that I'm trying to eat more of. Listen, these are the kind of things you say when you get older. I'm sorry. All the polls not showing up for you on mobile? I wonder if a refresh might help. Sometimes it's kind of janky. You know, you have to gamify. I'm part of the generation that came up with gamifying every aspect of a life. So that's just what I got to do. I gotta add peas in. I gotta get my pea achievement. That sounds weird. So it looks like Yellow Green 63 is going to be right here. Now, I know we've got some Brits in the chat. Thoughts on peas? I know it's a very big food staple over there. I believe a mushy pea, a big thing that y'all like to enjoy from time to time. All right, we're going to do the third marker. Kate is unsure. I see. Mushy peas get in the bin. Wow, okay, so there's some pea controversy here. Tell me more about that. RV10 B95. It's a beautiful blue 95. We got V15 and B63. All right, 1 minute on the clock for the vote. Pea soup. I don't think I've had pea soup since I was a little kid, now that I think about it. Does sound kind of good, though, honestly. On a rainy day, bit of pea soup. There's a lot of good soups in the world. It's hard to go wrong with a good soup. A nice steamed pea. Growing up, we sometimes, this was one of our fancy meals. We would sometimes have pork chops with condensed tomato soup. Like you would put them in a braising dish, and you'd put a can of condensed tomato soup on top, and then some frozen peas, and then you would bake that in the oven for a long time. And it made really good pork chops. Mads, I'm a fan of everything you're doing. Don't let them talk you down. Thank you again, everyone who contributed to the hype train. Thank you. I'm going to do my little choo-choo there. All right. So we actually have a tie this round. We have Y38 and B63 that are moving on. So boop and boop. The bookends. Light hydrangea and honey. Honey is one of my favorite yellow markers. Now we're going into the final vote of this round for this illustration. So I'm going to do new poll, fourth, and final. All right, so grab 5 more. Grab 4 from the front and 1 back here. Boop. Whoa, a lot of pales and one incredibly dark color. let's do BV08. V04. RV 000. RV21. Red Violet 21. And YG23. All right, 1 minute on the clock starting now. What color is my tattoo? Let's see if I actually own one that's close. Ooh, it's kind of a toss-up because it's sort of maybe similar to the forest green almost, but the forest green has too much saturation. But I think that's about as close as I can get with the colors that I currently own. Would be that. And the outline is supposed to be black, but it's been... Man, when was it? 2004? So, a long time since I got this tattoo. I was but a boy. All right, the poll is ending now. What do we got? What do we got? VO4 is the champion, so VO4 it is. Lilac is going to be moving along. I wish this marker smelled like lilacs. That would be so nice. All of these are going back in their little home so they can be submitted for the next illustration. But the ones that have been selected will stay out for the remainder of the stream so that we don't get any duplicates there. All right. So, as I stated earlier, we're going to have some fun drawing some animals. So I'm going to go to... Is it? Sketch Daily reference site. And I'm going to click on the animal tab. And we're going to do some studies first. We'll do some timed studies. I encourage you, if you're at home and you have some art supplies nearby and you feel like doing it, there's no pressure, of course. But if you want to sketch something with me, I'm going to be doing a few timed animal sketches. I'll put them up on the screen as well so you can follow along directly and we can sort of draw together and get warmed up before we start doing the longer studies. So I'm going to unclip this because I know I'll be flipping the page anyway. And I'm going to get a darker pencil as well so that they'll show up because these are going to be pencil sketches. I'm going to use my fancy guy. Because it's been a long time since we've done this. So I'm going to select any species, living, any view, and we'll start off with the fastest one, and we'll go straight on through. All right, so I'm going to add this website to my scene. Do this live on the fly. I assume this will work. Well, that's OBS. Okay, Sketch Daily. There we go. Now I've got to crop it in because it's going to be showing pictures. Presumably, they'll fill up most of the screen. Found me on Twitter? Well, it's so nice that you could join us. Thank you for being here. I'm always happy when someone finds the posts over there, the art, and decides to hop over to the streams. Makes me feel quite nice. Okay, I'm going to start these things, and I'm going to pause it.
And
very nice. It's kind of a thing that might drive a person mad. Honestly, have some fun. I have no idea how loud that is. I might have to adjust the volume in the future, but okay. So here we are. We've got a little bird. That's going to be the starting one. Oh, I guess I can actually just put it right here. Very convenient, because there's actually nothing on this page. All right. Oh, thank you. Doing that Monet Master Study was very, very fun and a little intense. I felt kind of bad picking it because it was like the second time that Abby had done, excuse me, a study like that. And I know that she's just getting started with watercolors. But also, I couldn't resist. I saw it on Google and I said, that's so beautiful. I got to give it a try. But it was really, really fun to do. So these animal studies are going to be, I just shrugged up my shoulders really high and did this hand motion as if I was expressing something. But these animal studies are going to be 30 seconds to start. So just to let everyone know who's going to draw along with me, once I unpause this, it'll only be up on the screen for 30 seconds. So if you're drawing along at home and doing these studies, it's mostly thinking about the shape, the intent of line, the movement, just capturing the very basic values even. I don't know even if I can get to the values in these. I'll try to shade in a little bit, but they're going to go really, really fast. So don't worry about it if you don't get anything more than just a few lines. That's more than okay. That's just the warm-up. So here we go. I've unpaused, and we're just going to go right in. Just like that, it's gone. I bet some of these would actually be a little bit easier with just marker color to be able to just do value studies kind of instantaneously. I remember drawing. The thing is, doing this website, if you do it quite a lot or do really short poses like this, the 30 seconds, you're going to run into some of the same drawings over and over. And I remember the last time that I drew this little friend. So after this one fades, which should be in a couple of seconds here. Yep, there it goes. We're going to switch to a new time now. So I'm going to go back. And we're going to go a little bit longer now. So we're going to do all species again, pretty much all the same categories, except this time we're going to switch it to 5 minutes. So let's do 2 minutes because we did 30 seconds to start, so we can push it further than that. And since I'm doing pencil sketches, I'm going to sketch on this side as well. So I'm going to have the reference stay over here just like before, but I'll move the book and get right on in. Okay, so the timer is now 2 minutes, so we've got a little bit longer to go. I love getting all of the little dark vertices on this bird's forms here. There's some areas, of course, you know, it's a blackbird. There are a lot of areas where it's just pure darkness, but there are plenty where sort of the glistening light reflects and refracts off of their feathers. It's really fun trying to capture all of those shadows and light spots. And try to build up backwards toward the light. Oh, there they go. Sorry about your legs, Burb. All right, and now we've got a fish. The lighting in this one's very intense. There's a lot of backlighting on the subject, so you get sort of these cascading lights on an already pretty textured creature. I mean, there's the scales, obviously, but also these sort of cow spots. It all culminates in this very dark cast shadow across them. And then all these... This is one I kind of now want to just linger on because of all the interesting background details, which you know I love. But also, it's so bright over here, and so there's like all these sort of faded details that get caught up in the light. Ooh. Pelican is seen from below. I love how daintily their little legs are tucked in underneath. The Blackwing pencils are very, very nice. Very smooth. And they give you a lot of range of like line variation. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of pencils that do that. We're gonna pause on this one because I want to take the studies, in a longer direction here. So I'm actually gonna go back and change it one more time to a much longer length. So we're gonna do all animals, and actually really good timing on this. My stretch timer just went off, so once I get the timing set up, I'm gonna let's do 20 minutes. Actually, no, let's do 10 minutes so we can do... I'm being indecisive now. I'm gonna do 15 minutes, split the difference, so that I can do 2 studies with this set of markers. Okay, so I'm gonna click start and then immediately pause. We're gonna do this, I think it's a turkey. Actually a really good study because it's backlit. It's like impossibly backlit with the glowing. All right, so what am I doing? Stretching. Let's stretch. Alrighty. Also, Mads, I'm seeing the owl drawing. Very good. Big fan. All right. So let me stop my stretch here. So excited for that Stream Deck to get in so I can just make a stretch button. It's going to be the greatest. It's supposed to come in tomorrow, but also it's hard to, count on delivery during such troubled times. So, like, maybe tomorrow, but definitely next week, if not. I'm really excited and setting up a lot of buttons on that thing. All right, so we've got our reference. We're going to use this page here for a big old ref. And I'm going to switch to my other pencil. This one here. Just because it plays a little nicer with the Copic markers. I'm going to put my plastic sheet in behind. And I'm going to clip it. Nice and secure. I'll move this back into position here. Okay. So once I press the play button, we're going to have 15 minutes on the clock to go for it. Let's just do this real quick. Okay. So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. We've got 15 minutes on the clock. Now, the wildest thing about this is I don't even really know. I haven't actually tested the value range of my markers, so I'm not quite sure what I've got. It looks like mostly medium range and dark colors, so we'll see how that goes. But it's going to be wild, I think, irregardless. I'm going to try to get a lot of the big shapes out of the way, and then move into just pretty much purely laying the colors on. And I gotta remember not to get lost in precise details here, even though I want to, keep control. I want to keep my sort of ranges in order. I want to keep my shapes and spaces in order. But if I focus too hard on the details, I've only got 15 minutes, so whether I like it or not, it's just going to move on to the next picture, which is nice. It's nice to have that out of your hands. I love the lighting on the feathers on the back. It's incredible. And also the light shining through the, I think it's a wattle. Okay, so I've got the big shapes in place now. I've got sort of the overarching shapes. So now I can go in and add a little bit more of the detail. Goes up and around, and they have like a little hat. And then the general shape. So instead of thinking about each of the feathers as individual pieces, instead I'm kind of drawing lines. Sort of the directional lines that the feathers will follow as they flow. Kind of like if you're doing water, you think about the sort of physics of the waves and the directions that they're moving in. Ketone, welcome. Hello, Raiders. Welcome in. Welcome in. Make yourselves comfy. I hope you're all doing well today. We're doing a few little animal studies in limited Copic marker color. Couldn't say marker just then. Which the audience has chosen, so it's extra fun. We'll be doing a few of these today. Lazy Fair, thank you so much for subscribing with Prime. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so I've got the lines pretty much good to go. I'm just going to jump right into color because we have 11 and a half minutes left. So I've got my little sketch card over here, which I can tape on whenever I need. And boop, boop, boop. I'm just going to lay all these down so I have a good idea of, even if I know that most of these are medium colors, I can at least know how they relate to each other, how they look next to each other. So the yellow, even though it's a very bright color, it's actually, you can't see it because it's behind the reference. Let me move that for you real quick. So this yellow, even though it is a bright yellow color, it's actually going to be kind of dark in the overall composition. Ooh, my lilac actually needs a refill. And I do, yeah, I have all my traditional and digital supplies listed on my Twitch page. I actually made sure recently to add a bunch of new stuff to that too. All my new gadgets and gizmos and all the things I also get asked about most frequently. I'm just looking down into my refills bin right now to see if I can find my lilac refill. Here somewhere. Oh. Sometimes I think maybe I have too many colors. Aha, I found it. Ketone, thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate that. Okay, I'm doing a speedrun refill right now on this marker. Oh, Mads, thank you so much for gifting all those subs. Thank you, thank you. Lyra, the shoutout command is for, like, if people raid, or, you know, we're just shouting out somebody as a family. It's not meant for self-promotion. And now as a mod, you know that. Okay, I've refilled the marker, and now here we go. So I'm going to start with all of the dark shadow areas first. I'm going to sort of build them in. Got about 7.5 minutes left, so I have some time to work the colors into this. So up at the top, I'm actually cutting around where the light is the strongest, and I'm going to leave that area just pure white. Kind of let the paper do the talking. Like you would if you were doing a watercolor. When you're working with watercolor, you tend to leave a lot of white area or work transparently over the white in order to make something that looks really, really, really bright. So that is where our starting point will be. And up at the top, there's certainly no shortage of things like that. You can see in the reference, it's actually really good that the reference is so small on the screen right now, because it sort of does the squint test for you. Or instead of squinting to see the light areas, you can see them pretty easily at a glance. Anonymous, thank you so much for gifting that sub. It's so sweet of you. So now we've got our various shadowed areas here. Various areas. I think the most difficult thing is, for this, I don't have like a light reddish color. So it's going to be tough to do the light shining through the wattle. I'm going to try to fudge it a little bit. Okay, I've got 3 minutes left. It's going to be a bit of a mad dash here. But the point isn't to finish. The point is just to get as much done and do as much learning quickly as possible. I'm feeling good about this. Oh, and there it goes. So now we're going to just pause real quick so I can set down my stuff. All of my things fell at once. Okay. Back to sketching. 15 minutes on the clock. We always do seem to get the square ape, which I love. Great shapes on this little friend. I'm going to go ahead and move that reference back over. Whoops.
Can I run a prediction thing for fun, showing you this feature?
Oh, yeah. I always forget that the predictions are a thing. Go ahead. Hey, Ziggs, how's it going? Today we're taking our limited palette study in an animal direction. We're doing some timed animal drawing, so I only have 15 minutes to do a little drawing study of this friend. right, so now we have a prediction in the chat that you can vote on with channel points. And it does give you a chance to win channel points. Don't forget, that's very important. So you could earn some points there to use in future votes or to request drawings or whatever. Thank you, Elris. I really appreciate you saying that. Whenever I'm on Abby's stream playing a game and her chat votes on whether or not she'll win, I always vote against myself and win a bunch of channel points. And I never throw the match. I'm just bad at video games. Okay, I think I've got a lot of the basic shapes in order here. So now let's go ahead and start working in. Some of these colors. Now I'm going to bring my, just for my own quick glancing here, I'm going to see all the different values. So I know that my lighter purple, the fuchsia or the lilac, has way more saturation. I'll save that for some of the front-facing parts. I'm gonna use this as kind of an undercoat. I don't really know where to use this green, so I think I'm going to save this for the background. The yellow too as well, although maybe a few highlights would be good. I'm always a huge fan of this sort of on-the-fly problem solving. It's one of the reasons why I like doing these streams so much with the limited color palette. Because even when the drawing is relatively easy, the color selection sometimes is just absolutely not what I would regularly pick. So in a lot of places where the light is meeting the shadows, I'm adding this really high saturation yellow to help set those colors off. Make the transitions look a little more rich. I'm gonna... Let me see if I've got the properties thing up. I do. Okay. I'm gonna zoom in a bit more just so you can really get a glimpse of this friend. Still got 8 minutes left. We should be able to tone this out pretty well, hopefully. I'm going to use the blue as the sort of base darkness layer for the fur. So everywhere where I'm painting blue is going to be the lightest part of where the fur is. I can basically just use this to block in the whole form. And then I can gradate it as I go down alongside all the different forms. Cut in and around those shadows. And the shadows I'm going to cut with a really, really dark black. And again, it's a lesson in not getting lost. Because it's so easy when you're drawing something to just lose yourself in it, which can be very good. But I'm trying to, maintain a little bit more focus just so I can get a result. I'm going to try to keep some of the light, much more of the light than is actually in the reference there. Because I only have like 2 values basically to work with in this set. There's not a lot. So now I'm going to switch to my lilac. And once again, I'll be putting high saturation where shadow meets light. And then all the places past that point are going to be pure black. Oh, there he goes. All right, so that is the second study, which means we're an hour in, and it is time for both a stretch break and to do another round of voting. So I'm going to set these ones aside. I'm going to secretly pray for more value variance, but it's not up to me. It's up to you. So let's take a stretch. All right. Oh, wow. We're only 11 subs away from another art giveaway. And we're, 88 away from the next follower giveaway? My goodness. We're making our way downtown. So let's end the stretch. $78, you're right. Math not me good. Very thankful every day that I've got a calculator inside of my phone. All right. So here we go. Second round of voting begins. I go over and start a new poll. First marker. What are we going to get this time? So we've got Cool Gray number 1. We've got Blue 05. We've got YR68. We've got Earth Tone 49. And Violet 15. The crayon stream is going to be on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm very excited about it. I've had my crayon sitting right here next to me all week long, and I'm so excited. 1 minute on the clock for the poll. I'm still trying to figure out what the best paper for crayons is. I'm thinking something with texture, but I've got a lot of smooth Bristol here too. I'll try out a few different things, see what works best. I don't think there's any chance of a tie this round. Earth Tone 49 is taking it all the way to the hoop. People love E49. What can I say? Dark Bark is a powerful marker. All right, Dark Bark is moving through. Grabbing 5 more. I've grabbed 6. New poll. Second marker. Okay, we've got red violet 000. We've got yellow green 23. We've got red violet 21. Blue green 49. And green 17. 1 minute on the clock. Kaboom. This is a nice assortment here. This would make a nice picture right there. You got some good value range, got some good tonal range, and some lovely colors. And 2 pinks. A couple of red violets in there. Ooh, I should probably check on the weather. Apparently we're getting a tropical storm tomorrow, which is exciting. It's not a stream day, so I don't have to worry about that, but it seems like it's going to be pretty intense. I just noticed that my weather app was like, here's a hurricane tracker for you. That's intense. Oh yeah, it's actually going to make landfall tonight. Now I am planning to go get supplies before that happens. BG49, you're moving on. Duck Blue. Mads, you're the best. All right, what do we got here? Ooh. Got a lot of dark jewel tones, some neutrals, and then this spectrum green just being like, hello. How's it going? So we got third marker. And we've got blue violet 00. Love that color. Mauve shadow. It's great for transparently layering shadows on top of drawings that you already have established. I'm doing a lot of gesticulating today, I just noticed. That's just how I am. I'm very expressive hand-wise. B39. Very dark color. E47. That's a nice medium brown, actually called dark brown. And then Spectrum Green is G02. which is a beautiful green. It's like a jewel green. All right, 1 minute on the clock for the third marker. Pop, 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 pop. And what's it gonna be? GO2 is flying, but C7 is hot on its heels. You're getting some competition this time. GO2 is climbing. Is C7 going to catch up or surpass it? There are merely seconds left in the match. The votes do be getting spammed. And by one singular vote, GO2 makes it through to the next round. I need to base predictions on something chat can't control. But it's more chaotic that way, don't you think? Let's see here. My salmon red, which has, you can very clearly tell, exploded in the past. All right, fine. This is the final vote of the day. Final vote. Final marker. All right, this is for all the marbles. BV04, R05, C3, BO2, and YR07. That's yellow red 07. 1 minute on the clock. Final vote of the day. Vote, vote, vote. I'm going to put all these markers back in the container. Lion, you go hard in everything you do, and I appreciate that about you. Ooh, things are looking very tied here. But is one going to break ahead of the pack? BV04 is pulling ahead very strongly. BO2 and YR07 trying to pull up, and BV04 crowned king. So here we have our selection of colors. We've got dark bark, a nice deep value. We have BG49, which is duck blue. We've got that spectrum green GO2, and we've got BV04 blueberry. So let's test out these values. We got some dark colors. Thank you. I just recently summer-timed my avatar so that now they are rocking some shades and a nice breezy shirt for the season. Boy, that spectrum green is some beautiful. Look at that color. That is the color of meridian waves, you know? Duck blue, very bold and deep. And dark bark, we know what dark bark is all about. Look at this. It doesn't get darker than that. So we've already got 12.5K go to Tiny Mountains and who? 12 others. Wow. Nothing but respect for my king. You're just an agent. You're an imp agent of chaos. And that's why I love you. Untouchable. All right, so we're going to draw another animal. I'm going to max out the timer. I think it goes to 30 minutes. Let's see. And I'll actually pick the one that I do this time because I'll be spending a long time on it. But I'll select from any pose. I'll select any aminal. And we can do, well, we can do 60 minutes, but we're not going to go that far. It is 1:26 right now. I'm going to go for 40 minutes. We'll do a 40-minute animal drawing. It has to be one that I haven't done before. Oh, also, I should bring this cheat sheet with me. All right. So I'm going to put the plastic sheet in behind the page because we are going to be going dark with these colors. Dark, dark, dark. It's a very thick, it's like thick and slick, this paper in the sketchbook. It's like mainly for marker blending. No idea what the actual technical weight is. Probably says on the listing somewhere. If you just look for the Ohuhu sketchbook, you will find it. But it's the big 8x8 sketchbook. It's a square format sketchbook. It's the one and only square format sketchbook I've ever owned, which is strange. I'm looking at it on the website now. It's 120 pound / 200 GSM if you do it in metric. Heavy art marker paper. It's very smooth though. It feels plasticky, a little bit smoother than a Bristol, which is what I usually use. Straight Bristol, the Strathmore Vellum for my marker commissions. If I'm doing like a really fancy commission, I use the large format Vellum Bristol from Strathmore. But this is a fantastic sketchbook just for sketching in at home. I wouldn't recommend traveling with this like large 8x8 one, only because, as you can see, there's a lot of pages. This book is heavy. It's very, very heavy. But it's also hardcover, so it's sturdy as heck. Anywho, so since I've got 40 minutes, I'm going to be using my dip pen. I'm going to be using whatever. We're going to go all the way with this one. I've only got these to choose from. 3 cool colors and a dark. So it's going to be a very interesting color combination here, as you can see. I've got my reference up. I'm going to put it up on the screen in just a second here. And we can all look at it and maybe draw along if you feel like it. No pressure, of course, but that's what I'm going to be doing. So here is our reference. A little Pidgey. and let's go. What was the commission question? I must have missed it. Oh, nice. Thank you for grabbing that question, Lyra. Generally speaking, if it's similar to something I've painted before, like the commission thing is like the size and type of things that I normally would paint on stream. So landscapes or anything that I've drawn, anything that like I've drawn in here. Similar thing. But I would say nothing more complex than any of these. Because otherwise, you know, I'd have to charge more, and I don't really want to set a million prices on my donation page. Although if you do want something more complex, please email me. My pleasure. Things like that in panels are always so pesky because they're kind of like tweets in that way. Like, you only have so much room to say a thing without being overly verbose. So when you start putting in all of your stipulations, like, well, it can only be like this or like that, it's like, am I writing a novel here? So I'm glad that folks ask. Okay, got the sketch. Good to go. Go ahead and get in on these colors. So, I think I'm gonna go... I mean, this is definitely the lightest one. These two are kind of at a dead stop, so it's 2 and 3 there. And then, of course, dark bark is the darkest one. It's kind of nice to have a really dark color for this. But I'm gonna start with the light ones first, and then we're gonna work our way down in the value ranges. Ooh, stretch time. Let's get up and stretching. Okay, we've got 23 minutes left on the clock. Still working my way through the light values here, so I gotta move on. Stay focused. Good night, Redbird. Have a good one. See you on Saturday for the crayons. Okay, so the next color down that I want to use is going to be my blueberry. Christiana, welcome, welcome. We like to have a nice chill time here. I'm going to go back up in value and try to create an environment around, because as you can see, the background actually has values as well that kind of block in the figure. I've got about 10 minutes left on the clock. I need to refill, what is this one? Spectrum Green, GO2. It. Thank you so much for the kind words, folks. I appreciate that. I'm having a lot of fun doing this study. Especially something that, you know, it's a 40-minute illustration, but I only have 4 colors, ostensibly. I'm going to be adding a little bit more detail with some inks here. But for the most part, I'm just going straight in with just 4 colors. Which is fun, because it kind of makes it like a Game Boy palette. And in fact, with all the blues and greens that we're using on this little Pidgey, they kind of look like they're on a Game Boy, which is extra fun. Oh yeah, so for any new folks who have just joined, on Copic Thursday, what I like to do is let the audience pick which markers I'm going to use. I've got all my Copic markers right here. Ugh. And I grab randomly with my eyes closed, and then we have a voting round, and whatever colors that the chat votes for, those are the ones I have to use for the piece, which is really fun, very challenging, often. But it's a good way to like force myself to think differently when I'm approaching an illustration. So what I tend to do when I do these is I think about the value first. So I test them over on this page. You can kind of see there behind the reference. I test the colors out and see how dark or light they are next to each other. And that lets me know where to use them in the piece. So even though, you know, there's not really much green on the pigeon in real life other than the iridescent feathers. Because, you know, pigeons have kind of that oily feather quality where they have a bit of a rainbow. So there's green in that in the actual reference image, as you can see on the neck. But I have to use green as just an entire monochromatic color scheme, because all we have to use is these light colors and then this one dark color. So it presents a really interesting challenge of like, well, how do you represent the light then if you don't have the entire value range? Because I would color it very differently if I got to use any of the markers that I wanted to use, which is really cool. So now I'm going to draw that shadow being cast across the background, and it crosses generally about here. Oh, I got to refill this one too, do I? BG49 Duck Blue. Luckily it's right here. Well, welcome back, Pen. I hope you enjoy your gift sub. Enjoy all the bears. All the folks with subs get access to little bear emotes that they can use in my chat or on the Discord, !Discord in chat if you'd like to join the Discord. And if you link up your Discord to your Twitch account, you can use all of our emotes in there as well, which is very fun. Or should I say berry fun? I should. So now I'm going to draw that shadow across the background. I won't bother going into too much depth or detail with like the bricks and stuff in the background as they're seen. But I do want at least to get a darker value cutting across the picture. How am I so good at drawing birds? You know, I haven't drawn that many birds over the course of my career, but I'm just kind of using my general observation, you know, light and dark. If you can get some of the shapes right in proportion to each other, you can pretty much draw anything, or at least fudge being able to draw anything, which sometimes is just as important if you're working quickly, trying to get an idea across. The vague notion of a bird. I'll enhance some of these shadows here. I'm doing some just kind of directional strokes here. Just trying to get the impression of the light cascading down over the form. A little bit of blending just to move some of the shadows and shapes around. I notice here that there's kind of a corner shadow that goes up from the eye, almost as if they had some very immaculately done makeup. Code Kitten, thank you so much for gifting that sub. I appreciate that. Void Invader says, what paper do you prefer for Copics? I have a definite answer for this. I prefer Vellum Bristol. You can get it pretty cheap. The Strathmore brand is great. There's plenty of others to use, though. I buy mine pretty cheap from Michaels. I get the big pads of the Strathmore Bristol. and vellum. It's great. It's fantastic. It doesn't soak up a lot of the ink. That's the major advantage over a watercolor paper. It glides smoothly. The paper in this sketchbook is very good, but I feel like it wouldn't hold up well over time. But the vellum is so thick and hardy that it's fantastic. Oh, paying that gift forward. Well, I really appreciate that, Code Kid, and that's so sweet. I'm just going to put a couple more dark areas here. I've got about... Oh, I only have 20 seconds left on the timer, actually. I thought I had a bit more time, but that works out perfectly. I was going to put on the final touches for this drawing. We're going to call that one done. The vellum holds up really well to some pretty heavy abuse, yeah. We're just going to leave this beautiful swan here on the screen, which is a nice, fun, pretty little image to end on. I'm going to put these Copics back in their home. And I'm going to say thank you so much, everyone, for coming and hanging out with me today. I always love these Copic streams. It's definitely the most challenging art day of the week for me, but it's good. It keeps me sharp, which I really appreciate always. Leaving some of, the challenge of the art up to somebody else to decide really helps push me, sometimes in a panicked way, to kind of shore up my skills and do my problem solving properly. But this was an absolute blast. It was very stress relieving, thank goodness. I no longer feel the stress from this morning, which is great. I'm going to go out and prepare for this storm. Apparently, if you're on the east coast of North America, heads up, there's a bad storm coming. So I'm going to go out and prepare for it now, batten down the hatches. But don't worry, I'll be back. I mean, fingers crossed. I'll be back on Saturday with You Decided It, the community stream. It's going to be huge, y'all. You have to be here for it. You have to. It's a legal requirement because this is going to be the restriction for the stream. People paid in 500,000 channel points to get this going. I'm only going to be using crayons. I got a 24-pack of Crayola crayons here, and this is what we're doing for Saturday's stream. I'm going to make something special with these Crayola crayons. So come on back for that if you want to see some buck wild art stuff. And then, of course, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday after that, I'll be back again. So I'll see you then. Please have a great evening / morning / whatever it is, wherever you are. And I will see y'all on Saturday. Farewell, everybody.